The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. The black man is capable of managing his own affairs. That was what Dr. Kwame Nkrumah told us. But people are still bent on making it look as if the African is not capable of doing anything. The foreign minister of Mali, Abdoulaye Diop, has once again responded to France that if these people sit there and tell us that we do not have the right to choose who should be our partners, what we should do, or when the terms and conditions are put on the table for the African to decide what we think is wrong or right, then it is a big insult. Because we know what we are reading. We know the partnership deals. We have every right to take decisions that we think is best for us, and we should be ready for the consequences. But they cannot tell us that we don't know what we are doing, so they need to be here to be telling us what we should be doing. He went ahead to talk about the amount of money France Airway or the airline was making in Mali every single day. According to him, about 500 CFA franc, 500 million CFA franc every day. Then he went ahead to talk about the amount of money they were giving to the UN to protect us. According to him, they give 2 million euros to UN just to come and help fight against the TT. The T activities were still spreading. So that Africa has every right to decide our part. That they sit down and said they are developed. Nobody tells them what to do. And that all the things that they have is as a result of Africa.
But, and I say, insult. Because you think I can't understand what China brings me, what Russia brings me, what Turkey brings me. And you yourself come to criticize Russia and there, but you have more problems. So I think that coming even to a country claims, I see you even recently in the Niger, powers that do not make this choice. But it's not normal, but when we make a choice, we assume with the they are not our fathers. To come every time there are changes, tell us that, attention, do not turn left. Necessary to turn to the right. But they themselves have friends that we dispute. There are countries that come, they want to oppose us with homosexuality that we do not. The is also 1,300,000,000 francs. CFA spent per year of dollars, and someone will give you this in CFA. $1,300,000,000 a year, eh? Nearly 600 billion over 10 years. On CS are even given in. If we were even told that we will even leave, we would have fought. We would have come out of it. But during this time, when they are Venus, the essential objective, the threat in Mali is a terrorist threat. We are facing terrorist groups. Nations united by doctrine is that they are main of the peace when two groups fight in the middle. The terrorists pass by. They say no. It is not you. We take care of other things. We said today. The threat is terrorist. It is terror. It is terrorism that is. If you want to help us, you help us fight. But if you can't do that, at least let us. We are during it is one every day. Mura. We are in. He doesn't let us to fight it, but they started to be an obstacle. To do what? So at some point, conclusion. We have to draw the but let's not fool ourselves. When we say the goes as well, we recognize the sacrifices. There were several hundreds. The soldiers who also % come from African countries. It's not the others. They come, they are in their thing. Like in a university, But they are our brothers, Burkinabe Nigerians, dead and who decide to. But it's not 95%. It is other powers carpet in the shadows which decide moreover. So, we explain to our brother, you came, sacrifice you, but perhaps the vehicle you came in, helping us is not the right vehicle, does not have good faith. There are many Burkinabes who are in it, who are in Bamako and who came to help in good faith. Powers, who have lost their footing in Mali, who seek to return and Mali can't sit and watch this. So that we have decided to draw a conclusion. If, as I have said again, all these decisions are extremely difficult. There are thousands of Malians who are certainly concerned, who have had their jobs. It is true that to develop Mali OR to create jobs. They came to secure it, they almost. Now our brothers and sisters who are in the state has organized it to be able to accompany them, but we don't think that we think of all countries, because CE that we are, but it affects not only this then, if we are all assigned there but themselves, it's going to be a small part of there, so we are working to die. So it means that every decision has a consequence, including for our. When we say leave, we know that somewhere, but we think that in the long term, it will benefit the country, because we will have the capacity to be able to, because as long as, if you have your door that ensures, if you will not have, is what he, there is nobody yourself. You go out every night. If you have to look for a club, we'll do it. You'll sleep. But even if he doesn't have the ability, people are off. So that brought us into this. The other, also, in the affirmation of the sovereignty of the international diplomatic practice, it is the notion of reciprocity which will also, with the notion of respect for countries. Because in international relations, it is accepted that when a state acts against you, put the reciprocity if you return I return your subscription. It's the only code to understand each other. Because when your foot there, you will come back. It again. There. Well, yes, but even for the visa problem with France, you imagine that you are in a country, you discover on the networks that yes, we were closed for we no longer give a visa to Mali. In fact, but you are here, you write an official note. Yesterday I saw you say that in 3-4 days. We will close for this or that reason, whether we accept it or not. But out of respect, we can't discover this on social networks. Even if we have more people who, it's not made an act. But if they say they don't give visas, OR, they will close. We also say that our it's a question of respect. Because if you don't put it's better than you. I depend more on, the dignity, but there is a pain in it. It's true, but it deserves, but it can't. But you think that these people that we even have, and ourselves, we don't consider ourselves, but these countries, we think that they don't need us. But they need us as much as we need them. If they are there, they have something to gain. Otherwise, they would not be there. So we consider it's us, we need the same if they do this. So I believe that reciprocity is an important fact. Company Air France. We raise a company, you have agreements. There are people leaving the United States. They are on the plane before all flights are canceled. Here. The company stands up, only says that because we have, then there is no problem. If it is to, because Mali supported Niger, we'll do it. We'll do it. This VA, not this will not deter us from this. So we also put the reciprocal we called Air France. I said that now that you say that you are going to take back the 11, there you do not take back the 11. And when you're ready, you'll line up. If we are ready to give you back, and in the meantime, they are told that you are not the only companies in the world. There are other companies in the world too, who still go, if they need this place, they will take. Because someone can't get up every day at the Mali. I closed, I opened, I closed, I opened, no. So that this we must also be respected. We even respect the customers, because it's not cattle. There are people, for how many days? They are here. They can't do that in other regions. They do this at home, you, Kina, Niger, Mali. To understand, they can't come here. It is a commercial company. It earns money. Air France is 5 CFA per day on the destination Mali. We're the ones winning good. So I think reciprocity is important. And we said to LA France, we told all our partners, stand. I believe that the said on the General Assembly Tribune, Mali will now apply. We will answer. So this is it. It has to be extremely clear. And all those countries, if you look at France or others, Mali, we never shot the first. They are the ones actions they otherwise. With someone we saw us get up, go, good morning, no. Ones who pose thinking that you are, if they do this, they will hurt you. But by hurting there, they have almost lost everything gradually. Because we are ready to assume our dignity, we are assumed. We must. And if they don't understand, now include, because many parts that yes, there, we understand because they understand that, but we apply them. There are
Today they can boast of their development because of the natural resources that they took away from Africa. And that when they finish, these are the people who still sit here and tell us how poor the African is and how we are dying in need of their aid, and they must come here to help us. That era is over. The era has come where they must understand that the African has every right to take his or her own decisions, make our own mistakes, just as we don't interfere in their affairs. It's the same way they must understand that they have no right to interfere in the affairs of Africa, and they have no right to come here to choose what they think should be best, like they're accusing Russia. And when Emmanuel Macron came and they asked whether they will stop exploiting Africa, he couldn't answer, and he went right ahead to tell us how Russia is the reason to which we are having high cost of living in Africa. But that has nothing to do with the question that was asked. So, the exploitation of Africa, like he said, is what made them who they are. It's what is building Europe. Africa has been where it is because people decided that the resources here must not be used to benefit the African. And he said clearly that Africa, the time has come where we have decided to take control over the resources, so the resources will be used to benefit us. And that we must be allowed to take our own decisions, so that they will stop treating the independence of Africa as the junior version. You can't tell us that it is a big mistake to make business with Russia, China, North Korea, or any country. in this modern world, when you say we are sovereign people, so you should always be there to tell us what is good, what is wrong, where we must go, when you come here and you still want to choose what we do for us, it means that the independence that we claim we have is just the junior version of independence. And you are still telling us that we are still children. We don't know what to do. We can never take bold decisions and we don't know what is wrong or right. And it's like the terms and conditions that are put before us before we take any decision. We cannot understand them. So they need to be there to make sure they always guide the African. And that time is over. The time for the African to be in charge. Like one time, our leaders are all in us, Captain Ibrahim Traore, Assimi Goita, Abdurrahman Chiani said, our two generals, that we do not want masters anymore. The time of saluting masters is over. Now we are in a time where the African wants to be his or her own master, whereby we detect the terms and conditions for ourselves and not people always being here to tell us what they think should be done in this modern world. Because we've seen that Europe itself is advocating for self-dependency away from the United States of America. So why is it that they have a problem with the same advocates that they are advocating for being push across in Africa? Because if we are saying that self-dependency is the best way to go in this world, then why is it that when it comes to Africa, Africa must still be dependent on other people? People must tell us what we should be doing in this modern world. Yet, these are the people who are preaching Pan-Africanism to us. You can't say you are a Pan-Africanist when you still don't believe the idea that the African must be self-dependent to take decisions on his or her own behalf. And you still have the notion that the African must continue to depend heavily on you, what you want us to do. We should always be under control. That time is over and Mali has taken a decision to be its boss. And now nothing is going to change. Everything in Mali must benefit the Malians. The people must enjoy. The time of us begging and dying on the Mediterranean Sea just to look for greener pastures elsewhere is over, because they want the resources to be used to build Mali instead of pushing it out to Europe. Like we're giving uranium, giving them energy while we were in darkness in Niger. That this is what we are fighting against. And the time for us all to unite to fight for the total liberation of the African is now. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's colonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we'll make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world in Africa, West Africa, and in Mali.